No, that's how it's drawn. No, never did. You know I do. No, I'm messing with you. دقيقة ها دقيقة
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين ما بعد. طيب. Firstly, this is a session of information. علم إن شاء الله. حلقة العلم. Circle of knowledge. This is not a maw'idah. It's not just a reminder that we leave out of here, mashallah, we pumped up. طيب. This is a halaqat al-ilm, circle of knowledge, which means it's going to be principles mentioned that you may want to write down. This is stuff that you're going to have to use throughout your daily life. This is not a bashing session. We want to make people famous, keep mentioning their names. We mention names, and we have to mention names. Ask Allah for ikhlas and everything we say and everything we do. Ameen. Secondly, we really, we didn't see a need personally to do something like this, but it wasn't, honestly, it wasn't for our personal benefit, but other people don't have the information that we need, that we have. Therefore, it came to a point where we felt like we had to mention some things so that people can be comfortable in the way they worship and practicing their Islam. Tayyib. Therefore, this is not something that we plan to do, that we're trying to get famous off of. Honestly, and I told a couple people I could have went and finished and never said anything. Because honestly, the fitna doesn't affect me. People talking about IMFC, Man Muslim Family Center, people talking about Ali and Mufti and Tal, it don't bother me at all because I know the truth and I'm comfortable. I'm comfortable before Allah Jalla wa'ala. Me personally. Other people might not be able to say that, and I don't hold nobody accountable. I know what I know, and I know what I have to stand before Allah with. I know what I learned, and I know what I'm responsible for. And I don't hold nobody else, none of the brothers and sisters sitting here, or nobody who's not sitting here based on what I know. I do what I know, based on what I learned. And that's it. And I gotta stand before Allah with that Yom Qiyamah. And that's what I do. And that's what the other brothers do. So, this is not something that is for personal gain. Somebody says something about me, now I gotta get back at them. This is for real, this is for y'all. Y'all got questions, y'all got doubts, we're gonna give y'all what we do and why we do it based on the Sharia, Islam. What you do with this after that is on you. Whatever you do after that, because we're not gonna keep going back and forth. We're not gonna keep going back and forth on the internet and having talks going back and forth. And that's not what this is designed to be. It's designed to be an information session. We tell you why we do what we do based on the Sharia, based on Islam. Based on what we know. Could I be wrong? Mumkin, maybe. If I'm wrong, then whatever you got from the Quran, Sunnah, Fahm al-Salaf, then we bring it to the table like men, sit down and deal with it. And coming to the table like men does not mean, because they'll tell you, we called them to the table. We told them, we advised them. Advice, brothers, and I'm sure nobody in this room is going to accept 8 men coming in the room and talking to you like you one of their children and then call that advice. Nobody's taking that. Nobody's taking that. We come to the table like men. We sit down, we talk respectfully. You bring what you got from the Quran, from the Sunnah, from the Fitnah of the Salaf, and we deal with it like that. If I'm wrong, then I stand to be corrected. If you're wrong, you stand to be corrected. It's simple. And most of the people that are talking, on Twitter, as they love to hit Twitter, they're on Twitter. Wallahi, I don't even look at their stuff because it don't bother me personally. If somebody sends it to my phone, I delete it upon arrival. Me personally. But other people, they read it, and they affect it, and they get shubha, they get doubt. So why are they doing that? Well, how are they sitting with Ahlul Bidah? Well, why are they doing? What did the brother do? Alright, and then they turn around, they don't really know how to remove the doubt. So this is an information session for that type of stuff. Because I see the brothers in the street, and it's no problem. It's all salam, salam alaikum, kayf al-hal. It ain't no animosity. When I see brothers in the street, there's no animosity. And I make sure I go to them, give them salam, salam alaikum, kayf al-hal. Everything all right? Alhamdulillah, how's your family? Cool. And we part ways. And then, what? 3 days, the internet. Did you see the tweet they put on about y'all? We men. Men come to the table. I'm wrong, bring it. Bring it respectfully. We sit down like Tulab or the students are now supposed to do, and we deal with it. Anything other than that, I'm not with it. If I can say that. I'm not involving myself with it, I'm not going towards it. This is just an introduction. That this is not a personal rant from any of us. This is information. And what everybody chooses to do with it after this is on them, Yom Qiyam. Simple. As a maw'idah could be found anywhere, brothers. And this we got to understand. Ilm, knowledge, takes more than just a quick bypass of a statement. Read a statement from one of the Salaf and it sounds good, and we living our whole deen off of that. And that's not ilm. Ilm takes a little more. It takes sitting consistently, consistency, over and over and over. Muraja, review. Not these half 120 character tweets and we on top of the dunya. We got a bunch of followers on Twitter, so we on top. We put 120 characters out. No dalil, no nothing. No dalil, just statements, and we put that out and we good. That a maw'idah, a warning, could be, a reminder could be taken from anywhere, like Ibn al-Mubarak rahimahullah said. He said if you walk past a wall and you see a reminder written on it, then take the reminder. You might see a benefit written on a wall somewhere. Like you benefit from it. He said, but ilm, knowledge takes sitting, mushafa, listening, benefiting back and forth. We're not just here to do a little maw'idah, a couple of statements here and there, and then, everybody feels charged up. These are going to be a bunch of principles and qawaid of how Islam, how the rules are laid out in Islam. Tayyib? You might need a pencil. As one of the mashayikh said, that you'll find, and it's not emotion, it's not emotional talk, it's not going to be a bunch of screaming. I'm not going to scare you into believing what I'm saying. I'm not going to scare you into believe what I'm saying. I might not be the most articulate. I'm kind of dry, actually. But this is what I got. This is why I do what I do, why we do what we do, based on what I have in front of me, and based on what the brother's going to present. As being articulate and being an emotional speaker doesn't necessitate, brothers and sisters. Because the brother is articulate and emotional in his talks, don't mean he's right. It doesn't mean that he's correcting what he's saying. As one of the mashayikh said, his explanation is muqaddimah to kashf shubahat. He said, you'll find a person give a khutbah, and in that khutbah, everybody will be affected by it. Most of the people will be affected by it. They'll feel it. But only a few of the people will sit back and say, that's khilaf, for sharp. Only a few people will be able to sit and listen and say, he's wrong, he's out of pocket, he made a mistake there, he made a mistake. Most people, say, wow, that was a strong khutbah. Khutbah was major today, mashallah. It's a maw'idah. But when it comes to knowledge, it takes a little more than fancy talk to convince a person who knows If you're talking to a person that don't know, then we all know you can pull a wool over their eyes and do what you want to do. But if you're talking to a person who knows, it's going to be a lot more difficult to do that. And like Sheikh Muhammad used to always tell us, and we would tell the ulama that we sat with and learned from, we would tell them all of the fitnah that's going on, the same stuff that's going on. And we would tell them, Sheikh, this is what's going on. But this, if we do this, they're going to do this. But if we don't do this, then it's going to happen. They used to look at us like, how? They used to say, all of them, the same thing. Seek knowledge. Teach the people. Seek knowledge. No, but Sheikh, the Sheikh said, teach the people. And we would look at each other like, man, Sheikh don't get it. We, to us, Sheikh don't understand. He said, if you teach the people the foundations, they're going to know what goes against the Sunnah. The problem is, we don't learn the usul. We don't learn the foundation. We learn everything else except the usul, except the foundational principles, which is, as far as minhaj of ta'aleem or learning, minhaj of talab is backwards. It's backwards. When it comes to learning, you learn the usul, the foundations first, and then you branch out. But there's a book and it's translated. This book is translated. There's no excuse. You can go back and look at this book yourself. It's translated. I wanted to bring a copy. I didn't get a chance to grab a copy. It's called What Takes a Person Out of the Sunnah. What Takes a Person Out of the Sunnah by Sheikh Ahmed Najjar. What takes a person out of the Sunnah. Because the problem that we have is that everybody is an innovator. Not to me. The problem that the people that are talking about Imam Muslim, as the tweet that I saw today, and I don't even, somebody sent it to me. Anwar tweets that Imam Muslim Family Center is built upon the minhaj of the Ikhwan. This is his stuff. You have pictures, and this is his proof because of the picture. Now, to a person who don't know, they might really believe that. But he knows, and they know, who they can get that off on and who they can't. And that's why they do it. It's a book, it's short. And I remember I took this book, and one of my teachers, one of my mashaykh, I said, Sheikh, after I read it, I said, Sheikh, you gotta read this. He said, what's the problem? I said, Sheikh, I read it, and it's too simple. I must be missing something. Statements from the Salaf. What takes a person out of the Sunnah? What gives us the ability to say, he's not on the Sunnah, or she's not on the Sunnah? He's a deviant, she's a deviant. What gives us the ability to say that? That's what the book is about. In English, it's called What Takes a Person Out of the Sunnah. Got a white cover with like a green tree on it or something like that. I gave it to him. I said, Sheikh, you got to check this out on a Saturday. We went to his class, his house for class. I gave it to him on Saturday, Sunday. Went back the next Saturday. I said, Sheikh, did you read the book? First, he looked at the book. He said, Sheikh Salih Suhaimi did the intro to it. Sheikh Suleiman al-Haley, they did the intro. What's the problem? The intro to the book is from Sheikh Salih Suhaimi, Hafidhahullah, and Sheikh Suleiman al-Haley, Hafidhahullah. He said, what's the problem? I said, Sheikh, it's not right. Something's not right to me. From what I know, something seemed like it's missing. Came back the next week. I said, Sheikh, you read the book? He said, yeah, there you go. I said, what you think? Jiggy, what's the problem? I said, Sheikh, the book is like simple. He laughed and said, Sheikh, minhaj al-Salaf is simple. The minhaj is simple. Not the group of people we know, the minhaj. How do you practice Islam? It's a simple way to practice Islam if you know what you're doing. If you don't know what you're doing, everything is difficult. If you don't know what you're doing, everything is difficult. If you don't know the basics, the foundations, everything is difficult. You never know what to do. It's a bunch of confusion. If you know what you're doing, it's simple. It's called What Takes a Person Out of the Sunnah. And Sheikh Salih Suhaimi, he praised it, and he said also, which is worth mentioning, لا يستغني عنها طالب العلم. He said there's no student of knowledge that shouldn't have this book. Sheikh Salih Suhaimi, no student shouldn't have this book. Every student should have this book, based on the benefit contained in it. The atmosphere we live in, everybody's off except 4 masjids. 4 masjids are practicing the Sunnah in this area, and the rest of the masajid in this area are what? Deviant. What gives you the ability to say that? Tayyib? That has to be learned, brothers. That's not no tweet. It's not a tweet. He says, secondly, to benefit from it, بِخَاصَةً بَيْنَ طُلَّابِ الْعِلْمِ, especially He said you should spread it, benefit from it, especially the students of knowledge. Especially. Sheikh Suleiman said the same thing. He said that the need for people understanding the minhaj is great. And said from those things that bring the light, the clarity and the easiness of the minhaj, he said, من ذلك البحث الذي أعده أخونا أحمد محمد صادق النجار. From the things that bring the light is this book that he put together, this bahth. Wallahi, is short. It's real short. Tayyib. There's a section in here, which is the second section that we'll start with. In the first issue, it's called Al-Mabhath Al-Thani. The second portion of the book, حكم معين إذا خالف أصلا من أصول أئمة السلف. How do we make a ruling on a specific person? A specific person, if they go against one of the usul, one of the foundations of the Imams of the Salaf. One of the foundations that was laid out, starting with the Prophet ﷺ, the Sahaba, how they understood it. If a person goes against that, an individual that we know is different, and this is the difference. This is what they don't talk about. So they're not going to talk about it. It's going to crumble their whole joint. We all agree on the first part of the book. The first part we agree is no argument. We all know bid'ah is haram from the major sins. We don't sit with Ahlul Bid'ah. We all agree, it's no argument. You're not going to come in here, man, Muslim family center and find nobody promoting that. That's not the argument. That's a straw argument that they're using to pull the wool over your eyes. Nobody's arguing that we say that khutbah hajj every week, kullu bid'atin dalalah, every bid'ah is misguidance. Every misguidance is in the hellfire. We already know that. Alhamdulillah. We agree on that. But what about when Fulan, this brother in front of me, or this sister in front of me, when she specifically does something, how do we deal with that? It's different rules, brothers and sisters, but they don't talk about the rules. It's specific rules. That's why he said in the beginning, he said it already passed in the first portion of the book, من خالف أصلا من أصول أهل السنة والجماعة, that whoever goes against one of the foundations of Ahl Sunnah, فقد خرج عن هدي السلف الصالح وصار من أهل البدع. That whoever goes against those principles, then they left the manhaj of the Salaf and they went against Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah. Whoever does that. This kalam, just like this, and this is what we always hear, right? We heard this before. طيب, he says, هو من حيث الجملة والحكم المطلق. This is من حيث الجملة. Generally, that's the rule. That's the general rule. The general rule is that somebody goes against what the Prophet ﷺ taught us, how the Sahaba understood it, how they taught this, their students down the line, all the Imams. The general rule is whoever goes against that, then they're misguided. I don't think anybody in here is going to disagree with that. Matter of fact, the majority of the messages that you go in this city, I didn't say all, because now it's going to say, hey, you said all the messages on the Sunnah. Games, everything's not all the mashes, majority of the people that you go in any of those mashes and talk to in this city, in this city, they're going to tell you the same thing, that we follow Sunnah. We follow Abu Bakr and Umar, Uthman and Ali, Abu Hurairah. And they might not know as much as another masjid knows, they might not have many students there teaching, but generally they say the same thing. طيب. He says, أما من حيث التعيين. من حيث التعيين. تعيين. As far as specifics, being specific. Not saying, yo, anybody who goes against the mention, they off it. Anybody who goes against this, they're deviant. Okay, we all agree on that. There's no argument. That's not the argument. You're talking about this brother. Him right now. This is a whole different chapter that they don't talk about. Min hayth ta'yin, specifying somebody who's done something, who's made a mistake. He says, وَأَمَّا مِنْ حَيْثِ التَّعْيِينِ وَالْحُكْمِ عَلَى الْأَفْرَادِ, and putting a ruling. A ruling is when you say a person is a mubtadi', an innovator, that's a hukum, that's a ruling. They got to stand up in court. If we was in the land of the Muslims and they took you to court for slander, you got to prove that. It has to be proven. We the only ones running around he say something and we tweet it and run chaos. That it's a hukum, it's a ruling that's been placed upon a person. As far as putting rulings on specific people, فَإِنَّ فِي الْمَسْأَلَةِ تَفْصِيلًا. فِي الْمَسْأَلَةِ تَفْصِيلًا. When it comes to that type of thing, it says what? It's detail. It ain't it's not black and white. Shadid did this, he's innovator. This one did this, he's innovator. Target one here, he's innovator. Where do you learn that from? Tafsir. What's the tafsir? Let's go and get into it. It says, إِذْ لَيْسَ كُلُّ مَنْ وَقَعَ فِي الْبِدَعِ وَقَعَ الْبِدَعِ عَلَيْهِ. Every person, and they'll tell you this part. All you gotta do is ask. And don't ask me, brothers, don't ask me why they do what they do. I'm telling you why we do what we do. I don't know why they do what they do. This is why we do what we do. Every person that commits an act of bid'ah, لَيْسَ كُلُّ مَنْ وَقَعَ فِي الْبِدْعَةِ. Every person that falls into an innovation, it doesn't mean he's an innovator. Clear? Every person that may fall into an innovation, they go against the Sunnah in this issue. Because we make it like they go against the whole Sunnah. They go against the Sunnah in this particular specific issue. That doesn't mean that they become an innovator based on that, just like that. So he did this, and now what we say, because this is what's been taught. The brother did this, he did what? Oh, he shot out, he offered, khalas, he's done. I don't listen to him no more. That's what's been taught, and that's what people are practicing, and that's what people will have to stand before Allah with Yawm al-Qiyamah. Like I told more than one of them, if you're comfortable standing before Allah Yawm al-Qiyamah with that, is nothing for us to argue about. But me, I'm cool. I'm not doing that. Based on what I know. If I'm wrong, you can come correct. Every person that commits an act of bid'ah doesn't mean he, just like that term, he's an innovator now. He says, وذلك أن الرجل إذا كان مواليا للسلف ومصدر الاستدلال عنده موافقا لما عليه السلف ووقع مع ذلك في شيء مما يخالف أصول السلف خطأ. That the person who does that, they make a mistake. Yeah, they went against the usul of Ahl Sunnah. They went against Ahl Sunnah in the issue. Right? But this is a person that, and this is our situation. These are people, we all know each other, y'all. We're not talking about no boogeymen. Everybody knows everybody. We was overseas in Saudi together. In Mecca and Medina, we stayed at each other's houses and all that. They come to Mecca, they stay at our houses. We go to Medina, stay at our house. That's how nutty this is, about to say it for the Philly. That's how nutty it is. I go to their houses, my whole family eat sandwiches, and they come down and stay with us. That's how it is. Allah Musta'an. That if a person that we know to be upon the way of Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah, and then they go against Ahl Sunnah in an issue as a mistake. Not that they're trying to do some new innovation. They made a mistake and they were wrong. They was wrong. No argument. He's dead wrong, out of line. He's out of line. He's wrong. طيب فإنه لا يخرج عن حد السلف بذلك الخطأ. That doesn't mean he's not on the manhaj of Salaf because he made that mistake. That don't mean he's not from Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah anymore because he made that mistake. It's not my kalam, it's not my statement. And he's going to go into why. وَلَا يَكُونُ مُبْتَدِعًا. He's not an innovator based on that. So what they do, they take a picture, he was here, told you this is the proof he's an innovator. What's the ilm? What's the ilm in that? Based on what? 10 years ago, anybody who took a picture in this city, 10 years ago, anybody who took a picture was off the manhaj. Now we all over Instagram. Allah protect us. We all over it. La shak wa la rayb. No haya, no shyness about it. We all over there. Some of us, may Allah protect us all, openly disobeying Allah. Then turn around and say, but them brothers down there, they off it out. I don't go down there. Where you go? You had a picture, you was at the bar, but you don't go down there to pray. 10 years ago, anybody taking a picture wasn't on the Sunnah, period. You would say, don't go down there. Like, why not? They take pictures and all that. That was the dalil 10 years ago, approximately, for a whole masjid, a community of people not being on the Sunnah of Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam. Based on what? They take pictures on it. They be on something else. Now, we all know the situation. He doesn't become an innovator based on that. وَإِنَّمَا يُقَالُ. But what can we say about a person who does that? We leave it, just leave it like that? What do we say about him? Yes, a person from the Sunnah we know and love, but he made a mistake. Huh? Anybody know? Just, Islam is just and fair. يُقَالُ وَافَقَ أَهْلَ بِدْعَ فِي كَذَا وَكَذَا. Say, yo, when he made that statement, he agreed with the statement of the innovators when he said that. That statement is a statement of innovation. He's an innovator? Not based on that, it's a mistake. But that statement he said, that's the same statement of the Murji'ah, the same statement of the Khawarij, the same statement of the Ahmadiyya that we need to know about, the Ahmadiyya that we really, really, really need to know about. We worried about Tahir. We got y'all worried about Tahir. We ain't worried about the Ahmadiyya that's building that masjid up there in North Philly. We worried about Tahir. Astaghfirullah. We drove all the way from Mecca to Medina, 4.5 hours to figure this stuff out. We got there and there was a serious Taliban in there. He was a student, he was serious. He was looking at us like we was crazy. It's like, what are y'all doing? He said, yo, we gotta find out. We gotta go to the sheikh and ask him. Like, y'all wasting y'all time. Y'all wasting y'all time. So we went and saw Sheikh Salih Suhaimi. We went and saw this sheikh. We went and saw this sheikh, Sheikh Khalid. We went and saw this sheikh. Sheikh Salih Suhaimi is blind. He was going to his car after Fajr. Was you there? Luis was there. Farouk was there. Ali was there. He said, Sheikh, they're saying Tahir is this and that. He said, leave Tahir alone. He didn't even stop it. He didn't even stop the whole conversation with this. He kept walking to his car. Leave Tahir alone. Sheikh Salih Suhaimi teaches in the heart of Medina, Prophet's Masjid. Leave Tahir alone. And this ain't about Tahir, this is about the wool being pulled over people's eyes. Leave Tahir alone. The Sheikh, they saying he got to write a bayan, he got to write a clarification of his position. Leave Tahir alone. They don't have nothing to do with that. They know him. Sheikh, they said, but Sheikh Rabi said that Tahir has to write a bayan. Sheikh B said Tahir got to write a bayan. He stopped and turned around and looked at Farouk. It was Farouk asking a question. He said, yo, Tahir, from the best that y'all got over there, leave him alone. He jumped in his car and pulled off, literally, left us standing in the parking lot. Literally. Sah? Literally. Got us running around here, or maybe not, I don't know who's in the crowd, but got people running around here like he's the worst person in the world. But the scholars you refer back to, if they didn't drop them off their list, because when you differ with them, they drop you. You go against the grain, they cut you. Same scholars you praise and love them, but nobody here could benefit from them. He said what you can say is that the person agreed with Ahlul Bid'ah when he said that. In order to what? In order to what? Demise and pull everybody away from benefiting from them and disgrace them? No. لِيَتَبَيَّنْ ضَعْفَ الْقَوْلِ لِيَتَبَيَّنْ ضَعْفَ قَوْلِهِ. In order to show that that statement he made is a weak statement, is not to be taken. When he said that, we don't take that. Yes, we know him for 10, 20 years, he prayed with us on the Sunnah, but when he said that, we don't take that. We don't follow anybody in a mistake. No one. That's why Imam Malik rahimahullah said everybody's statement, and we all know it, everybody's statement is accepted and rejected except the person in that grave, and he put into the grave of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, right? Why when one sheikh say something, the whole dunya is shaking in their boots. Every mujtahid, what the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, yukhti wa yusib. Everybody who makes a ruling, they could be correct or they could make a mistake. There are no mistake-free people. We're not scared to say that. There are no mistake-free people. There are no scholars you're going to find that they're right every time they open their mouth. Islam 101, Islam 101. Perfection is for who? Huh? Allah Jalla wa Ala. The Messenger alayhi salatu wasalam. That's why Sheikh Salih, Hafidullah, he said, if you really read them biographies, you start reading the biographies of Sufyan al-Thawri, Sufyan al-Rayyan, the biographies of the Salaf, you start reading through their biographies, you'll see some mistakes that they made, that's recorded. Remember that, he recorded them. Huh? Sometimes you got to go back and make sure you read the same biography. You say, yo, is this such and such? That's him. He said, what? And he said, wow, what's the hikmah? What's the wisdom in that? The wisdom in that is that there is no perfection except for the Messenger alayhi salatu wasalam. The Salaf, Sufyan al-Uyayna, people like Qatada, the famous Imam of Tafsir, that they had mistakes. Did that mean what? Through all their books, nobody benefited from them? Come on. That's not the reality. He said, well, la yuqal. You don't say about the brother that you know been on the Sunnah and he made a mistake when he went against the usul, the foundation of Al-Sunnah. He says, la yuqal. You don't say, huwa mithluhum. He's like them. He's like them innovators. And he doesn't get that ruling. Wala fi hukmihim. You don't put that ruling on him based on that mistake he made. And this is what we're talking about. We're not talking about general bid'ah. We all know that. Alhamdulillah. Inshallah, we all know that bid'ah is bad. Making up stuff is bad. That we got to follow Sunnah. We're talking about you bringing a brother in front of the community and saying, now you want to make ta'yeen on him. Now you want to make ta'yeen, you want to be specifically make a ruling on him. All right, you got to be a little more detailed now. It's a little more. It's a little more. It takes a little more now. You can't just... But I'm going to tell you the reality. What they do is their group will do that. So if you're in the group, and I'm telling you based off experience, if you're in the group, they assume everybody in the group is going to do that. Yo, this is what we're doing. Yo, you see what he did? All right, this is what we're doing. Boom. If you say, hold, how you going to do that? That's not... Hey, huh? Yo, he got it. Y'all think it's a joke? This is Islam. This ain't no game. It's not a game. There's brothers in here way older than me. Y'all know what gangs look like. And we left that. We left that. We left all of that for this. For the Sunnah of the Messenger alayhi salatu wasalam. That stuff is not impressing. It's not impressing. I'm not impressed by that. Me personally, none of us. We shouldn't be impressed by disobeying Allah. They call a meeting. I say, yo, Saajid is wrong. He retracted what he said. He took it back. No, he didn't. For argument's sake, he didn't take it back. Argument's sake. I heard it with my own ears, but you 8 are going to tell me that I didn't hear it. Like, for argument's sake, since he didn't take it back, and I'm going to tell you, Somali, you need to go talk to him, because Saajid was the imam at South Philly Masjid at the time. If he's wrong, argument's sake, he's dead wrong. Somali, you need to go talk to him. Period. That's our brother. He's wrong. He ain't take it back. Go talk to him. No, I can't talk to him. Anwar, go talk to him. Can't talk to him. Cash Khan, go talk to him. No, I better call you. Reason, no, I can't talk to him. If you can't talk to him, I did exactly what I did. If you can't get to him, then you go talk to him. If he won't listen to you, then you go. If he won't listen to you, you go. If he won't listen to you, Jamil, you go. Dawood Adib was there. If he won't listen to you, somebody got to go talk to the brother. Because I'm next to make a mistake. You're going to do the same thing to me. And he next, and he next. So how are we going to do this? Somebody need to go talk to him and pull his coat. Argument's sake, he didn't take it back. You know what they told me? Allah's a shaheed. They said, oh man, you trying to be Superman. A'udhu billah. A'udhu billah. Me personally, but I'm telling you, I don't affiliate with that type of mentality. I'm not with that. And I told them, if we want to do people, we want to do them all the same. This is the first issue. The first issue we all agree on. What we all agree on is what? Bid'ah is haram. It's from the major sins. We got to stay away from it. Don't sit with them. But who are they? How do we know he's an innovator? Based on what? Because that's what you tweeted out. They all said he's an innovator, so he's an innovator. Start asking questions. Based on what? What's his innovation? You start asking them type of questions, they say, oh, you're trying to argue. You don't want the truth. He says what? فَإِذَا تَوَفَّرَتْ فِيهِ الشُّرُوطِ. If the conditions are met for this person, وَانْتَفَتْ الْمَوَانِعِ, and all the prohibitions, all the things that can be blocking him from becoming an innovator, if all those things are met, then you can say he's an innovator. But it might be some things blocking us from saying that. Like what? Huh? Anybody know? What could be a reason that we can't say a person's an innovator based on something he said? Huh? He didn't know. It was a mistake. And this is what they use. They say, if he's forced to say it, huh? It doesn't hold up. If he's forced, they force him to say it, it doesn't hold up. Or if he's ignorant, he doesn't know it was a mistake and he says it out of ignorance, it doesn't hold up. This is a case-by-case situation. Case by case. So you got to go to the person like a man. Now that's men stuff. You go to a man and you say, yo, Assalamu alaikum, listen, I don't know. I heard this, I'm not sure if it's the truth, but like men, it's a case-by-case situation. It has to be confirmed. Number one, did he say that? Well, here's the recording right here. All right, we got the recording. Well, does he know that's the, I'm giving y'all reality. Does he know that's the, man, believe me, I'm telling you. I'm telling you, don't hold up. This is Islam. I'm telling you, it was when we was in the street. I'm telling you, just take my word. They're going to say, khabar al-thiqa. Oh, it's a trustworthy person told me. Brothers know what a trustworthy person is in Islam? It's a whole chapter on it. It's called al-adala. What keeps a person trustworthy in Islam? Allah musta'an. A lot, we say most,